Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this vid. This is 4 teenagers reacting to a life sentence. For a teenager to get tried as an adult and get a life sentence, they have to do something heinous, something horrible. So let's see what these teeny boppers did. Let's watch.
This is Mackenzie Sharilla. She's a 17-year-old who was found guilty of murder for causing a car crash that killed her boyfriend and his friend.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving.
She did on purpose.
Sharilla's boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, Davian Flanagan, were in the car when she crashed into the side of a commercial building outside of Cleveland. Going 100 miles per hour, both men were pronounced dead at the scene, and Sharilla survived. Prosecutors argue that the teen had a toxic relationship, and Sharilla had made violent threats against her boyfriend.
Threatened his property? She threatened to break into his house?
Correct.
Reportedly, she crashed her car on purpose because she wanted to kill her boyfriend, and that his friend was just collateral damage. The prosecutor said the intent was obvious upon seeing that video, that there was only one goal.
You see her drive.
Did she release his seatbelt as she ran
making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
And a few days before the crash, she allegedly took the same route to plot the crime. This is where the judge now finds her guilty.
Count one. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Sharilla, guilty of murder to win Dominic Russo.
She now stands up to be placed in handcuffs as she continues to tear up.
Count two. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Sharilla, guilty of murder to win Davian Flanagan.
Sharilla now has a moment to speak before her sentencing.
Her family, I'm not a Davian. I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
And you
There
still
was no
are?
medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. She's sentenced on count one, 15 years to life. Count two, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
The judge just sentenced her to 15 years to life in prison.
Was it worth it? It was not,
This
girl.
is Aiden Fucci, who pled guilty in court for the murder of his classmate when he was only 14 years old.
Having fun in a cop car. Yep.
Fucci was classmates with a 13-year-old girl from Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns County, Florida. Fucci stabbed her 114 times.
Oh my goodness.
Her dead body was later recovered from the woods. After Fucci was arrested, he can be seen in the back of the cop car taking Snapchats. Now this video shows Fucci and his parents in the interrogation room.
The Snapchat you get, these numbers.
That's you're all in the internet anyway. This is seriously.
This is very serious.
This is no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
A video from prosecutors showed Fucci and the girl allegedly walking together right before she was murdered. Then about 90 minutes later, the video shows Fucci allegedly running away from the area where the body was found.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
After Fucci pled guilty to first-degree murder, the judge now hands down his sentence.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence
I just saw something where this girl, she stabbed her boyfriend, this white girl, she stabbed her boyfriend several times, 50, something like that. It was a high number. And she didn't get no time. She didn't get no time at all. And I was like, what the fuck? It was a YouTube video I randomly saw about it.
life in prison.
If you know what I'm talking about, let me know.
Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
After Fucci was sentenced, he stood still with a little movement.
Psychopath.
This is Willard Miller and Jeremy Goodale, and at just 16 years old, they are both charged for the murder of their high school Spanish teacher. Reportedly, it was over a bad grade.
We then moved her off of the trail where I then struck her and she died as a result.
Miller and Goodale went to Fairfield High School in southeastern Iowa. Nohema Graber was the Spanish teacher at the school, and Miller was one of her students. After he received a bad grade from Graber, he and his friend Goodale planned to kill her.
We discussed
Graber went for her usual walk at Chautauqua City Park. The boys knew that as they stalked her and they waited to ambush her.
Here she comes, and she walked by, hair in the back of the head, and I said to the boy, shit, make sure she's dead. So we hit her a couple more times.
They then dragged her into the woods and beat her to death with a baseball bat.
What the fuck?
There wasn't any plan beyond that. Like, hide the body, bury the body, save the body.
And you thought this was gonna get you a better grade?
Hide the body. I guess in our areas, kind of assuming that nobody would ever find her.
Not long after, both boys were arrested. Court documents allege that the witness who knew Goodale showed law enforcement Snapchat messages that showed Goodale and Miller's involvement in the murder. One of the Snapchat messages saying, "Point of view, you're my Spanish teacher, and this is the last thing you see." Followed by, "Time to hide a body."
What?
Jeremy Goodale would later
Y'all
plead
are
guilty
so
and testify against his best friend Miller.
I understood that he had the intent to kill Mrs. Graber.
What is your plea to murder in the first degree? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
This is the moment that Goodale gets to speak before his sentence.
We don't hear
I had
live.
time to think on what to say,
Lecture.
and I'm sorry, truly sorry. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way.
And now the judge hands down his sentence.
The defendants shall be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Now for Miller. This is him apologizing before he receives his sentence.
I would like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of Victim Graber. To the family, I'm sincerely sorry for the distress that I've caused you and the devastation. And I ask that I'm given a chance, and I don't want to be institutionalized. I don't want to be so long.
Too bad.
About what matters, where I come from, and look forward to getting through this.
And now the judge
Life.
has some final last words.
The defendant, Willard Noble Chady Miller, should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Miller seems to be completely unfazed. This is Rachel Schoaf and Sheila Eddy, who are both in court today for the murder of their friend when they were only 16 years old.
Their scheme was to hide knives on their bodies and to attack Skylar at an agreed upon moment.
In Star City, West Virginia, Schoaf and Eddy were friends with 16-year-old Skylar Neese. Reportedly, Schoaf and Eddy decided they didn't like Neese anymore, so they planned to kill her.
Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf carried out that plan. Together they stabbed and killed
Cause y'all don't
Skylar.
like her, just stop
After
being
Schoaf's
friends with.
confession, both teens were arrested. Schoaf agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for her cooperation in the case.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if there's a proper way to make this apology because there are not even words to describe the guilt and remorse that I feel each day for what I've done. I hurt the Neese family and those who love Skylar. I hurt my parents and shamed my family. May God bring eternal peace to Skylar and the entire Neese family.
After securing a plea deal, the judge now gives Schoaf her sentence.
Like,
Rachel Schoaf, it is the sentence of the
Triple
court
it.
that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for a period of 30 years.
But she will have the possibility of parole in 10 years. And now for Eddy.
It is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West
she
Virginia
wants-
State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. That sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.
people are sick in the fucking head. I can't imagine killing someone. Like, what type of human being do you have to be to want to take someone's life? Like, beating their ass is one thing. All right, understandable. I understand you want to beat a few people's ass, but killing them, erasing them from this planet, that shit is wild. They all got what they got. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.